When you dial 911, you expect help, but on the other end of the line is a human being, someone who must stay calm in the middle of chaos, terror, and tragedy. For police officers, the calls they get aren't just emergencies, they're glimpses into humanity's darkest, most vulnerable moments. Some calls are routine, some are heartbreaking, but others are unforgettable. Today, we dive deep into the most disturbing, bone-chilling, and unexplainable calls ever shared by police officers on Reddit. From haunting silence on the line to screams no one could trace, these stories will take you inside the mind of a first responder who hears things no one else does. These are the true stories they can't forget, the ones that changed them forever. I still hear that woman's voice in my sleep. It was my third year on the job when I got the call. A woman, mid-30s, said someone was in her house, whispering, frantic. We get those a lot. Usually it's a family member, a raccoon, a drunk neighbor. But this one felt off. She whispered the entire time, said she was hiding in her closet. She could hear them breathing. Then, her voice just stopped. Not like she hung up, just a silence. I rushed to the location. Backup on the way. We kicked the door and nothing. House was empty. No signs of forced entry. No woman. No phone inside. It was a vacation rental, empty in every database. The call was traced to that address to this day. I don't know what I heard, but every so often, late at night, I hear her voice in my dreams. The 911 call that kept repeating. One night around 2 a.m., I was the only officer on shift for a small rural area. Dispatch radioed in a 911 call. Static, silence, a breath, then the call dropped. Not too unusual. Cell service out there is trash. 2 minutes later, same call, same static, same breath, then drop. Dispatch traced it to a farmhouse, abandoned for years. We knew the place. Windows boarded, roof caved in. I didn't want to go alone, but no backup was available. So I drove out, armed and alert. As I arrived, headlights caught movement in an upstairs window. I stopped breathing, called it in. Dispatcher said the call just came in again. Identical, static, breath, drop. I stepped inside the house. Wood creaked under my boots. It smelled like dust, mildew, and something older. Found the source of the calls, a disconnected landline. Sitting on the hallway floor, no dial tone, no power. I backed out, filed the report. To this day, no one knows how the calls happened, but every few months, dispatch gets that same 911 call. Same static, same breath. We've stopped responding, but it still comes. The kid in the road. We got a call about a child wandering a back road at night. No shirt, maybe 7 years old, barefoot and alone. Caller said the kid was staring at headlights, then darted into the woods. We mobilized instantly. Child in danger, that's priority one. When I arrived, I found tiny footprints in the dirt. A child's size, no shoes. I followed them. The forest got thicker. My flashlight caught movement. I called out, "It's okay. We're here to help." No response. Just movement, deeper in. The prints stopped, vanished like the kid had taken flight. I turned to call back to the cruiser when I heard it. "Can you help me find my mom?" It was whispered, maybe 10 feet behind me. I spun around. No one there. We searched for 6 hours. Nothing. No one reported a missing child. No family claimed them. No footprints leaving the area. We reviewed dashcam footage later, and briefly, in the corner, we saw it. A small boy staring directly into the lens, then gone. The man in the wall, years ago. We responded to a noise complaint at a duplex. A woman said she heard scratching and knocking coming from her bedroom wall every night. Around 3 a.m., we assumed raccoons or maybe bad plumbing. But when we arrived, something felt off. The woman looked terrified, bags under her eyes, said she hadn't slept in days. We walked into her bedroom and stood still. Faintly, you could hear it. Scratch, tap, scratch. I knocked on the wall. It knocked back. We called for backup, thinking someone might be in the crawl space. Maintenance showed up and removed a section of drywall. Nothing. Empty. 2 nights later, she called again. Same sound. This time, we drilled a hole and inserted a snake cam. We saw something move. A face. SWAT was called in. They found a man, filthy, dehydrated, wedged behind insulation and wall framing. He'd been living there for over 2 weeks. He didn't say a word when we arrested him. Just stared at the woman with an empty smile. We later learned he'd broken in while she was out of town and never left. The forest screamer. This happened near a remote logging site. A ranger called in, screams echoing through the woods. We assumed it was an injured hiker or animal. Still, we had to investigate. I met with the ranger, a guy in his 50s, seasoned. He looked shaken. "It's not an animal," he said. "It sounds like a woman screaming, but wrong." We hiked into the forest. The deeper we went, the louder it got. It didn't echo like a normal sound. It circled us, then silence. Suddenly, the scream erupted right behind us. We turned, guns raised. Nothing there. We searched for hours. Nothing human or animal found. But in the snow, we found a trail of deep prints, with claw marks. They led nowhere, just vanished halfway down a slope. We marked the area. logged it officially as unknown auditory disturbance. But every ranger since refuses to go there alone, even in daylight.